So, anyways, in the news, it's crazy. Okay, so if you guys watched the last episode, um, we kind of joked about Kim Jong Un,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hilarious. Well, little did I know that Kim Jong Un would actually be in the news yet again. Old Kimmy boy is in serious condition. His I guess he
Change
had
pace.
heart surgery. And did you have the article?
I'm just pulling this off the top of my. Sorry, honey. I'm just pulling this off the top of my head. Let's see if South Korean government official told the country's Yonhap news agency. Yonhap.
Who's Yonhap?
That's a better story than his illness. That's the name of the news agency is Yonhap. That's probably a Korean name.
Hmm.
Yes, he is apparently
In a life-threatening situation.
in grave danger, as the report
Great,
says.
but you never know, man. You don't know. I remember,
Could grab a clone.
I remember like a couple years ago, all of a sudden Kim Jong Un was like out of the picture. You couldn't. He wasn't like no one's seen him like in over a month or so, and people thought he had been dead, and so there was all these rumors going around that Kim Jong Un's dead. Well, he definitely wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have bad health. Apparently, his diet's horrible. He loves
That's what it
cheese.
says. The diminutive dictator's health has deteriorated in recent months due to heavy smoking, obesity, and overwork.
Overwork.
Overwork. Q.
Yeah, yeah. That abrupt
Tell you what he's working on. Working on missiles and
weapons of mass destruction.
or concubines, probably. Who knows what the illness? Sorry, dear. Who knows what the illness is actually from? I have my guesses. I think it's probably coronavirus. Wouldn't that be funny?
Ooh. You know, I didn't even think about that. Maybe he did get COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. Or COVID-18.
Who knows how bad it is in North Korea because they're very tight-lipped about everything. So you don't know how crazy it is over there. I would imagine a country like that doesn't have, access to the modern technology that we have would suffer the worst if it got over there. And they border China, so.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, they're so border crazy that that's an
right.
official
People are
term,
not
border
getting in
crazy.
there.
Yeah, then no one's going to be coming in to spread it. But at the same time, they probably have nothing to do in their economy except hang out together in small rooms with large numbers of people, and that spreads it more than anything else possibly can. Which segues into my next talking point for us here. I read an article that made a really good point that they had discovered that coronavirus doesn't spread really that easily from person to person casually, but rather in more close proximity over repeated exposure, like if you're in a lockdown situation. Think about that.
Well, I heard that that actually just happened to me yesterday. I went to go play that game Venice again, which I'm not supposed to technically because of social distancing, but that's how I hurt my finger in the first place. But anywho, so I was there with my friends, and we started talking about it, and I was like, "Man, I've read an article about this," and then they're like, "No, man, I actually just read in an article about this. It's actually this way." And then I was like, "No, I read in an article that is actually no. This is definitely it came from a lab in Wuhan, China." And they're like, "No, I read in an article and it didn't come from a lab." And so we just kept going. That's funny. Here's the thing, man. Everyone's got opinions about everything, and especially with social media, it is like gotten way worse. So you got a whole world full of people getting on social media, using the freedom of speech, and just posting all these articles, and probably half of them are fake, and I've fallen victim to that, which reminds me of a hilarious story, Justin. This happened to me, talking about a humbling moment of my life. So I was on Facebook and I posted something about criticizing people about, hey, you got to watch, all these fake articles are going around all over Facebook, and you got to just watch before whatever you
Fake book.
post. Yeah. So, okay. So I did that. And then all of a sudden, a friend of mine from high school commented under a post that I had posted, like, I don't know, a week or two before. And it was a post saying that there was going to be a Forrest Gump part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fake article. And I was like,
That
oh,
would,
man.
that would be an interesting movie. I think I remember you telling me about Forrest Gump too.
Yeah. Well, there should be. So that way that article is
Right.
not fake.
Next thing you're going to tell me there's a Top Gun too.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk about this, Justin.
Okay.
The economy. What do you think is going to happen with this economy?
Well, I tell you, it all depends on how soon we reopen the economy or not. You do another 3 months of even where we're at right now, and you're probably looking at a deep recession or even a depression, because it doesn't really take much movement in an economy to cause big ripple waves to happen. That's what happened in the late 20s, very late, 29 and then the 30s for the Great Depression. You have one event happen and it throws everything into turmoil for like 10 years. And I don't know if it would last that long, but people don't realize that the way it works, it's like if you drop something in a pond that's real heavy, and something real heavy is like 12 to 15 to 20% of the workforce instantly unemployed all at the same time,
Yeah.
with at the same time multiple businesses shut down, not bringing revenue in. That's a big deal. So it's like taking a pond. Now we've dropped a boulder in the middle of the pond, and everybody's sitting on the shores being like, see, the water's the same, but those ripples haven't gotten there yet.
Right. No, I love the ripple acknowledge, and I think, well, really, I mean, everything is just super uncertain. Like, we just don't know what is going to come from all this. But I do know this: we have to get back to work, because I'll tell you what, man, Justin.
I'm broke as shit.
I've been waiting for that button moment.
I built this whole talking point was for that button, wasn't
Take it in.
it? Just give me my government money every month, $1,200. I'll be
Well, it sounds awesome, like the money that they're putting out there, but you got to think about it. Like, people are making more money on unemployment than they are when they did work.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you want to go back to work when you're making a fortune?
Mm-hmm.
So
I was fortunate enough to get, I talked about this before, but I was fortunate enough to get caught literally right in between two jobs when it started going down. And
that sucks.
technically that should qualify someone for unemployment, but I think I might qualify under the kind of newer conditions. However, I also think it's complicated to fill that out, and no one's hearing anything back. So
Right.
yeah.
I don't know. Well,
What do you do?
yeah,
You drink.
you drink
Lego mug.
from a glass that says mom on it.
What if Lego made beer and then they sold it in like plastic bottles that
That's a
look
good
like
idea. And Legos.
might not be the right message for kids.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we got to think about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Maybe in Europe.
I'm going to turn this down. Man, I got to get a new phone.
I was the first time so I was in Europe like in my teens, and we're riding along in the coach, which is the European word for bus,
Mm-hmm.
or the American word. I know that hopefully you've already tuned the chairs out by now. Like,
It's driving me crazy.
well, like the trains going in the background. Has anybody heard the trains going in the background? Right, you've tuned it out. You haven't even thought about it.
Did you guys hear that screaming outside and the gunshots? Exactly.
We've tuned it out too. So I'm in this coach, which is the European word for bus, I think.
Yeah.
And we're in Germany at this point. You know, what happens in Germany stays in Germany. Yeah, we just pull into some kind of roadside cafe or whatever. And there's like a group of 16-year-old kids sitting around a table drinking beer. And this is a little bit of time ago. And so, I'm like my Puritan meter just red leveled out. And at that time, I realized that there's more to beer than I thought. And then the next stop in Switzerland,
Switzerland.
they served it warm. I didn't have any, but they served it warm, and I'm like, what's going on here? What kind of continent is this? Hit the crickets.
I'm like, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, Justin?
And that's my third story with no ending.
Yeah, well, thanks for wasting everyone's time.
On this episode, you'll find a lack of closure.